Okay, so I'm recording now, so we're going to have to go back through and do this. No, we're not going to do the solutions for all of them. I accidentally forgot to hit solution or record when people were presenting their solutions. So here's what I'm going to request. Those of you who wrote your solutions, can you send me a PDF of your solutions that you wrote out? Those of you who put them in Maple, can you send them to me in Maple? And what I'll do is I'll create kind of a compendium that people can refer back to for solutions for that, and I'll post it somewhere, probably on the notes page or something. So sorry, apologies to those of you watching this in the distant future, waiting for that solution that will never come in the video. It's very, very disappointing. Sorry, I'm really bad about spinning plates like that, so it's going to take a little bit of work to remember. So any questions on number 1 through 6? Like, I didn't quite get that, or can you explain that a little differently? My wife is cooking in the other room. I don't know if you can hear the plates banging around, but yeah, she's banging a pot. Ding, 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 ding. She's making fried clam cakes. Which
you'll have to tell us how that turns out in the next class meeting.
They're a
I've
treat.
had that before.
They're a treat from my childhood. My mother's family is from Massachusetts, and so it was like a big treat when my grandfather would make fried clam cakes. And I haven't had them since I was a little kid, so she's being really nice to me tonight. I don't know what that means. I should go check the bumpers on the cars. What's going on? She's got her headphones on, so she can't hear me. Doesn't matter. Okay, so if you don't have any questions about 1 through 6, what I want to do is turn our attention to now the Maple Basics assignment, because I have a sneaking suspicion that not everybody is done with that, and that's the next thing that's due. And then if you're okay with that one, you don't have any major questions on that, then we'll take a look at the problem set, which is after that, the next thing that's due. And we're not going to meet again before that problem set is due. So I just want to make sure everybody has a chance to ask questions if you need to. So looking at the Maple Basics assignment, there's a couple of videos that I give you which you can watch. Just kind of a, warming up to Maple, getting used to it. I'll also post the video when she sends it to me from the Maple workshop that they ran for us today. I'll post that so you can see that. And then I have you do 5 tasks in Maple. Anybody, I know at least one person has started it. Anybody have any questions about any of the tasks? Yeah, John.
I have just a simple question. You said to send that whole file to you about the Maple file to you after. When I did it, I've never used it before, so I'm still playing around with it.
Sure.
It has errors in it. Do you want me to get rid of those errors or anything? Or do you want me to just leave them in there? So
Well, I don't want to spoil the ending, but there should be one error in it for sure.
Okay. I mean, like, I found, like, errors, like, I was trying to do certain things, and, like, it said, okay, that doesn't work. Like, I was trying to do, like, certain commands, and I couldn't get it to work necessarily, and then I finally figured out how to get it to
and
work.
you can delete all the work. That's fine. Yeah, you can delete all the work that isn't leading towards a solution. That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all I just wanted.
But you shouldn't just, like, write down the answers, right? I want to be able to see where the answers come from.
No, yeah. No, I got you. And then, do you want us to label it right in Maple too, like A, B, C, like all that stuff?
Definitely. I need to be able to tell what part is what. So you'll notice the 5 tasks are A, B, C, D, and E, and I should have no trouble being able to look down your Maple file to see where each one is. Do me a favor also, when you're right at the top of your Maple file, just put your name at the very least, if not the name of the assignment, because this may shock you, but I'm going to get like 12 of these, and I'm going to have to be able to have them all open. And sometimes the name on the file name up there is too small to read. So having your name at the top of the document is really helpful.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect. That was all. That was
cool. So I think you finished it, or you pretty much are done, aren't you, at this point?
Me, I've started. I'm not quite done, but I'm at least to D. I have E, I think, and that's about it.
Cool.
So I've started. I've trying to get it done.
No, it's good. Easier. It's better to work ahead. And like I said earlier, you've got teammates. You know how to get a hold of the teammates. Make
Yeah.
good use of
I
your
made that
team.
right.
Communicate about that stuff. Share ideas. You know, if somebody figures out how to do something, try it. See if you can improve it. Right? Maybe there's a faster way, or maybe
Yeah.
there's a different way to do it.
Yep.
Cool. So I'm not hearing any other questions about that. So we'll set that aside. Okay. I'll be around tomorrow, so if you have any questions, you can get a hold of me. Just know that I'm not always sitting at my computer with Maple up, so it doesn't mean I will be able to just like give you, text you right back with, oh, do this. But I might be able to say, hey, what is it that you've done? Maybe I can help. Or I might say, I'll need to see your Maple file. Send it to me, and I'll give you some suggestions. So just be patient with me. I could be out walking the dog, and might not be able to do it on my phone. So that aside, I do want to take just a couple of minutes. We've only got a couple of minutes left to take a look at problem set 1. And there are 6 problems, and some of these should look kind of familiar based on the classwork that we were working on today, and some of them maybe not. So what I'd like to do is give you all time in your groups, give you about 5 or 6 minutes in your groups to kind of go through them one by one, just talk them through. If you haven't started them, it's better to kind of talk through what am I going to do for this? What am I going to try for that? Talk it through, get through all 5 problems, and then we'll come back together to kind of wrap up at the end. Sound good? Okay. I'm going to open up the rooms, let you guys get back in there. I'm going to have to reassign, I think, a couple of people. Oh, whoops. Yep, I'm going to have to reassign here. Boop. Because some people didn't stick around. Da, da, da. 3. I'm going to do it manually. You know what? Actually, I'm gonna recreate them. I'm gonna do them automatically. Put you in 3 rooms. They won't be in the teams, but you guys can talk with new people. See what you come up with. Go to it. Who knows where you'll be? It's like chat roulette without all the creepiness. John, did you get my invite for the room? My mother's so wonderful. She's a wonderful woman. Anyways, we had a chance to talk about you guys had a chance to talk about the problem set number 1 problems. So I'm curious, of those 5, which one do you think is going to be the hardest? Number 2? Somebody saying number 2?
Number 2.
Why? Because
Definitely
it's
number
the
2.
longest?
Yeah.
I think
Like 3 or
actually
5.
my advice would be do number 1 first, and then once you do number 1, you find out number 2 is actually not that bad. So
A whole bunch of words.
it is. It's a lot of words, but I gave you a lot of background, and I tried to make it as realistic as possible, because one of the questions that students often have with getting a degree in something like nuclear physics or chemistry is what can I do with this degree? And one of the most common uses is you work in a hospital. You're the person who's in charge of preparing samples and calculating, okay, how much do I need to have them ship me so that I have enough to run these tests in a week or 2 weeks, because I have to be able to calculate how much is going to decay by the time we actually need it. So it's a realistic problem. Okay, so which of the others caught your eye and are you curious about?
For me, 3, but I had just started reading it, so
Okay.
it could be easier once I get through it all.
Okay, so number 3, I will tell you, it's all about unit analysis and making sense of um, um, what the uh, equilibrium solution means in context, right? So part A is about units and part B is about equilibrium solution. But I will say I didn't tell you what the standard SI units are for things like mass and velocity and gravity and time, because my presumption is that you know it. But if you're not certain about that, that's definitely something you want to talk to your group mates about, your teammates about, because I know not everybody has a very recent or very strong physics background. So that's a handy thing to talk to people about and figure stuff out. What is the imperial, meaning the American system of units, unit for mass? Does anybody know this?
Is it slug?
Isn't it like
It
slug
is.
or something weird
It's
like that?
the slug. Nobody ever
So
uses
weird.
it. Everybody thinks it's pounds, of course, but pounds is force. But mass is actually measured in slugs. And those of you who know something about ammunition for firearms, that probably sounds familiar. A slug actually started off as a unit of measure. So kind of, it's one of the many things that's lodged in my brain.
I wonder
You know,
how many
rattles around.
slugs I weigh,
That's a
or
good
how many
question.
slugs I am.
You could type it into Google and type in your weight in pounds equals or your kilograms. If you do kilograms, you could turn that into slugs. I don't know. Let's see, what's the other one? Boop, boop, boop. Number 5, I will tell you, I ask, for what values of P is the population in equilibrium? For what values of P is it increasing? For what values of P is it decreasing? I am looking for an answer, but I'm also looking for the process to that answer. So you can't just like magically the answers are 3, 5, and 12. You have to show me where they come from. So, and I say that and you laugh and you're like, oh, that's silly. I'd never do that. But you'd be surprised. Sometimes people are like, oh, this is easy. I don't have to show this. It's like, well, yeah, you kind of do. Where do these numbers pop up from? Okay, I think that, go ahead.
One slug weighs 2.1 times 10 to the negative 5 slugs.
Mhm.
One slug weighs that
How many
many
pounds?
kilograms?
I think that's those slugs.
No,
I
you
found a
said
number of
Oh, you're saying 1 pound is that many slugs, or?
like one single slug, like the animal,
Oh, got it.
is 2.1 times 10 to the negative 5 slugs, the units.
Wow. Somehow, I think that's on a T-shirt somewhere. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Okay, well, that gets us to the end for tonight. I'm mindful of the time. I'm going to hit stop on the recording. If anybody wants to stick around afterwards and ask questions, or if you have any comments, you can fill out one of the comment cards, and then just leave it in the aisle on your way out. It's a joke, but anyways, okay, I'll hit stop on the recording.